All right, folks, we got a shop full of stuff, including the GTO. The giveaway is down to the wire, so not much time left to win that GTO. If you saw the last video, the wheelie, we were able to do that thing. I mean, that was pretty close to the bumper. We're hoping with Cheap Car Challenge updates that we got some time to make some modifications and try and get to that 10-second milestone by the time we get to 6 Summer. But every dollar you spend over on the merch site gets you an entry for that. Also, if you buy your 6 Summer tickets, like buy them now before, like if you buy them online, you get entries for the GTO. If you buy them at the gate, you don't. Plus they're more expensive if you buy them at the gate. So 6 Summer is gonna be a banger. We'll give you Cheap Car Challenge updates for it. Go grab your tickets because, I mean, literally it is June 15th. I mean, it starts Sunday with Sam's birthday. Father's Day, Sam's birthday bash. That's Tech and Registration Day at Byron. And then we go from Byron, we race at Byron on Monday. Great Lakes on Tuesday, Wednesday Cordova, Thursday Tri-State, and then we're back to Byron on Friday to wrap it up. Hey, 6 Summer is the most fun that you can have. Like literally, it is such a cool event. Like parking lot burnouts or checkpoint burnouts, like parking lot parties. Like I mean, plus the racing. I mean, it's crazy. So Cleetus, obviously we got Cheap Car Challenge rematch. So we've got Cleetus with the modifications to the El Camino, and you got Ty with the Mustang, and I mean freaking they're getting a full-blown Coyote built by Brett LaSala at the machine shop. Like, and then you got James with the 240. I mean, that's like literally, I don't even know. I think it's an all billet freaking LS that they got. And then you'll see what we're done. And I mean, we have so much budget left because we actually took it literally and made sure that we didn't spend a bunch of money. We bartered and sent Andy to the pawn shop to see what he could get. I mean, we did whatever we could for it. So you're gonna want to be there for that rematch. I mean, it's pretty simple. We're gonna win. But like, I mean, we just got to get the car running. So if we get the car running, then we'll win. So we're down to the wire. But hey, go grab your merch off the website. Go grab your tickets. We'll see you at 6 Summer. We'll get right to the video. Whether or not that gets hot.
I said that's gonna boil.
Look, just we can unbolt it and put it over here. Peel it back this way.
So nothing like the thrash to try and get the budget beater challenge stuff together. Now, we did go, so you guys looking for an update on it with where we're at. And based on watching the latest Cleetus videos, we have like so much budget available to us because we were doing everything Cheap Car Challenge ways. So we went to a big block, but I was able to trade the small block to get the big block. Now, safety, so Race Tech hooked us up with seats. Bobby got the 850 cage in there. We did upgrade the brakes to TBM. Safety. The other is that the engine, we actually have the budget of the value of the small block, which is roughly $3,000 available because the upgrade to the big block was for safety because the amount of nitrous that we're going to put in there so that we can win this thing, you couldn't safely do with a small block. So therefore, I mean, Andy, is that safety?
Safety.
Safety.
Thicker wall.
Thicker walls,
Thicker
like
wall.
It's all for safety. So the only upgrade we did was the Holley stuff then, which we got the stuff from Holley, and based on their whole thing, I thought we used $2,500 for that because that was the retail on it. Well, it turns out when it's sponsored parts, like from Holley, we only have to count that for half. So we spent $1,200. Well, we gained $3,000 because of the safety upgrade to the engine. So like our budget just keeps getting bigger and bigger. But at the end of the day, we did trade the engine. So we got that, came with the plate. We already had a decent amount of nitrous stuff, but we have the Holley upgrades. And I mean, the others, like if you look at Aiden, like normally we would put a smart wire system in this. I mean, that's kind of our go-to. Well, Aiden had to 3D print and make his own smart wire because of budget. But now we find out that we totally could have just bought a smart wire system. But Aiden made the whole fuse panel, 3D printed that stuff. You look at all the gauge pods and everything, that's Aiden printing all that stuff out. All the wiring harness and everything, Aiden building it. So like everything is made, like manufactured, not bought. So like, we really don't have, I mean, what have we used any money for? We already had nitrous. Andy, have we used money on anything?
Bought a few cheap things from the dirt mall up the road.
So
second-hand stuff.
So from the dirt mall, so we got some stuff from the dirt mall. Swap meet for like you people that don't know what a dirt mall is, but I don't even know. Oh, the headers off Amazon. So those were $330, and so I mean we'll work on updated thing, but we have so much money because I really thought until seeing the videos that $2,500 was counting against us, that entire amount, and it turns out that turned into $1,200. So I mean we've got plenty of room to play with on the whole thing. And what do you think of the bullhorns? So we decided to go like, I mean the cheaper way to go is to get some drag boat headers because those were the cheapest things available on Amazon, and went forward. So she's gonna be nice and loud, and these are tunable depending on how fast we want to go. Like if we want to slow down because we're going too fast, it's only an 850 cage, we can face these forward and then the back pressure against the wind to help slow us down. Is that like how an airplane brakes work? Yeah, like with the flaps. Is that like flaps up? So, but if we want to go real fast, and then if we need to get the wheels off the ground, we can aim them down. I mean, lots of opportunities there. I'll cut to the segment of John, because that's the other. It's like, even with parts, we traded the engine, which was a US engine. We traded it for a Canadian engine. So therefore, based on that and the exchange rate with Canada, like, even if that didn't count as safety, I mean, that's like 10 cents on the dollar. So like, at the end of the day, we gained a lot of budget.
Well, come on, I'll show you a few parts we've collected. So you know how it works with hot rods. You can have, there's three options. There's good, there's cheap, and there's fast. And if you want it good, it's not cheap or fast.
Yeah.
You pick two, right?
Yeah.
So Tom said it's got to be cheap.
Yeah.
So
So it's not gonna be fast?
well, it's not going to. It's going to. Well, it's not going to get done fast. But so we've started collecting parts, right? So, you know, he's going to get a good double roller timing chain set. So we found this used one here.
But the deal.
And so, but it's a good 250 chain. We'll get a new chain for that.
Oh, yeah.
It's got the Torrington bearing too. I think it's laying here.
So, but the deal was he's trading you junk for junk.
Well, his 383, yeah. Whatever. You know what? This is a little bit of a favor for Tom because, you know, it is Tom. But yeah, we're going to take that 383 on trade for this big block stuff. But maybe you'll see why.
And you guys have, I mean, obviously, swap meet stuff everywhere, and that's essentially what this motor's going to be. Is kind of leftovers.
Well,
stuff
there's a few things like, well, here, you know what? We were out in the country. It was a hot summer day, and we found this guy, and he had his window propped open. And what did he have? He's got a stud girdle holding open the side window of his house.
That sounds about right.
So we figured, hey, that would work. That would work good on Billy stuff. So we got some old Moroso stud girdles, and you know, old school Iski. You know, purple roller rockers, which are good quality pieces. But, you know, it's not like
just
it's
in
the
stock,
fancy
of
Jello
course.
stuff.
Yeah.
But we understand, like, Cleetus is under the same budget as us, so he shouldn't have too fancy a stuff either.
No. Yeah.
So, you know, we got stuff like that. And we found an old racer, and he had a dragster, and he couldn't get rid of it. So oh, geez, no, we better put a new one on there. This was a little beat up, but he had some good old rods, and we can bring them pistons back to life.
I think you got a wire wheel in the back. It's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's a custom labeled cam. Yeah, you're good there.
Yeah, it's Bailey's cam.
So you know what it is there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's a good Iski piece. I think that's one that Ed still was involved with. So I think Nolan found that in the back and blew some dust off of it. And yeah, I don't know. You know, we got some pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Pre-stressed head gaskets.
That's how you know it's good, right?
But they're good quality. They got the.
You can stack them up.
We hope the wire cores will bounce back. And yeah, so Cecil, I had to pull teeth with him, but he had a 4-bolt main block that he relinquished.
Okay.
We had to get to the machine shop and get a little.
And then what's it gonna have? Just some generic cylinder heads with like some peanut ports, maybe?
Oh yeah,
is that what it's gonna be?
Well, this we found a set of Chinese heads that a guy had, and I think they had fallen off a pallet or something.
Oh yeah.
And so the valves are bent,
Yeah.
and we said, "Look, man, this is junk." We got them for 500 Canadian. So and I had some old Manleys in a box, so we handed those off to a friend of ours out in the country. an old. He's a good old biker, but he really likes playing with cylinder heads. You know, those are the kind of guys that work in cylinder heads.
Yeah.
Or guys, they're little, you know, they're eccentric. They like to spend a lot of time with the flow bench. And so Ron there, he's got those, and he's working them over on the flow bench. But they're oval port Chinese heads.
Yeah, yeah.
And and then I found a strip dominator in Minnesota that we got for a good shake, and.
Don't forget our lightweight.
Oh yeah, well these were in the swap meet pile.
I'm actually frustrated because I got a text and it was like, hey, do you have any junk valve covers? And I said, I'll get some. And I would have taken these in a heartbeat.
Well, Tom was all about the weight. So I figured, you know what, we're going to get you some lightweight valve covers.
That's a nice piece right there.
It actually is, you know what? We're going to glue the hell out of them so that they don't leak. It is a drag and drive car, so.
Oof.
But,
I'm sure fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, maybe we'll get a little bit more footage. I'd like to go visit Ron out in the country so we get a lay of his, you know, where the heads are getting
maybe
done.
this is like a 17-part series or something like that,
It's pretty eclectic when we see his place.
Yeah.
It'll be neat. So.
And so now, when's this got to be done by? You're in a hurry.
Well, I don't want to give any dates right now, but Tom wanted it like now.
Oh, yeah.
But I said, remember the rule, Tom. You know, good, cheap, or fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was supposed to be good and cheap, so it ain't fast. So it should go fast, but I think we got a big shot plate that Dave had left over from his 2010 drag week car.
Oh, yeah.
That's been sitting in my basement for 15 years, so that might go on there as well, and yeah.
You guys always find, I'm a little offended I didn't get more of these things maybe.
This is actually the most fun, is playing with junk.
Yes.
And we'll see what the return is.
Well, the best part is it'll be someone else's problem. You guys get all the fun and then ship it away.
Well, I'm sure Tom is going to remind us how it works. You know, some of those guys, they say choose your engine and wield it wisely.
Oh, yeah. I know I picked mine. I'm good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
All right, so the train station. If you watch that video, then you know like how we treat there. So like after that video, made sure number one with Angel, who's on our events team, she did contact them and everything was clear for us to go there. So someone stepped out of line. We did get a letter. So I do want to squash the part with the train station because one person does not. Well, unfortunately, one person can make a bad rap for something. I don't want that to be the train station because we did get this letter to us, and I'm just going to read the letter so that I get across the exact communication. But, dear Tom, I want to extend my sincere apologies for the experience you had during your recent visit to the historic Rail Park and Train Museum. After seeing your video and the interaction that occurred, I can absolutely understand how unwelcome, uncomfortable you must have felt. That is not the experience we want anyone, especially a guest with a genuine passion for travel and storytelling, to have at our museum. While the staff member in the video typically warm and welcoming, she unfortunately misrepresented our internal photo policy, which is intended to guide scheduled commercial and professional photo shoots. Your visit and filming did not fall into that category. The portion of the video that was shared shows her attempting to explain the policy in a manner that came across as unsympathetic and unnecessarily intense. Her response was not only out of proportion, it was out of step with the tone and hospitality we expect from our team and strive to provide every day. As a nonprofit museum, we rely on the support of visitors and donors to carry out our mission. Encounters like the one you experienced not only damage our reputation, but more importantly, compromise the welcoming environment we work so hard to maintain. For that, I'm truly sorry. We'd love the opportunity to welcome you back for a proper visit. Bowling Green is a gearhead town, and we embrace travelers like you who share that love for the road. Whether it's a caravan in a parking lot or a classic car posed against our 100-year-old depot, it genuinely excites us to see the site appreciated in that way. If you're ever back in here, please reach out. I personally like to meet you, show you around, and make sure your experience reflects the heart of who we are. Thank you for what you do to promote communities like ours through the travels and videos. We hope to earn a second chance with you. Sincerely, Jamie Johnson, the Executive Director. This was awesome for them to put out there and for them to say, because that's the thing, like the idea of our checkpoints and going to do it is like, we want to, number one, bring business to these businesses, as well as like, I mean, this is a nonprofit, it's a cool spot. So We're going to go to Bowling Green again next year. Maybe that's a precursor to telling you that we are doing that event next year. So Sick on the Green will happen next year, and we'll probably go back to the train station. We'll make sure to do something with Jamie Johnson, the executive director, and like that's the thing. I hate when somebody steps out line like that and portrays himself as being someone in command when they're truly not the decision maker or that. Like, I mean, the better step to take for that lady might have been just to say that, or just to talk to them about it, or the director, not to take matters in their own hands for a couple cars pulling up and taking pictures. But train station, Jamie, thanks for the letter, and hey, go visit the train station. All right, so you saw what we had to work with John and what he assembled, and then actually at the Chicago race a couple weeks ago, he delivered the engine to us, and so we're gonna take you through that. And also know this, Sick Week. Sick the movie is coming out like Friday. And what's cool about Sick the movie is it gets you ready for Sick Summer. So therefore, you can get into Sick Summer vibes by watching Sick Week, or Sick the movie, that Luke's been spending a bunch of time putting together. And also in that movie that comes out, I think it's gonna come out Friday, maybe Saturday, is the dates for Sick Week 2026, also the registration date for Sick Week 2026. Everybody's been asking, when is it? And know that this event sells out every year within minutes. So pay attention to that part of it. Make sure you fill out the expression of interest, but during Sick the movie, you're gonna find out when Sick Week 2026 is. You're also gonna find out when you can sign up to race in Sick Week 2026. So now, to the delivery of the engine at Chicago a couple weeks ago, and the rest of our Budget Beater Challenge, because you know what? Michigan for the win. We are going to beat Florida, and it's 1 against 3, but hey, we're going to come out on top.
That's a stock GM 4-bolt main block that Cecil had laying around, and I convinced him to part with. It didn't take much convincing. He was very eager to get it into action, and those are some heads that we had found that had been messed up locally. Those are like a Chinese Pro Comp style oval port head. They started at about 300 cc's. We got them to our buddy Ron Adamson, and he started carving away on them, and he made some good numbers with them and put some oversized seats in them to get the crush right, which has really been an issue with the Chinese stuff, especially the older stuff. Now they're about 340 cc's. We got Race Tech pistons in there. It's 11.9 to 1 compression. It's got a 4 1/4 stroke internally balanced Eagle crank that I had for years. It's got a history. We found a good Dominator flanged. No, that's a Victor Junior oval port in Minnesota. It was only a couple $100. It was okay, and kind of a rare intake. So we jumped on it when we could. And you got some Iski valve train in there. You got some old Crower. You know, I had some old I think they were Moroso Jomar style stud girdles that we really wanted to get on there for the aesthetics, the old school vibe, but they weren't cutting it. So I had some Crowers from the 90s. I mean, nice oil pan too. I found that probably 30 years ago and I had to have it, but I never found a reason to use it till now. So hopefully you guys can keep that in your chassis.
Yeah, we'll see if it clears the K member, but and it looks like it's been modified to be a bigger oil pan than it used to be.
Well, the Milodons, that was considered their dragster pan. You know, it's got a bunch of trap doors all through the sections, and then we just threw in, I had found, same thing, in our storage building, I found some really nice, like kind of a graded louvered sheet, and we just rolled it in there and put a couple of snap nuts in there and drilled and spot welded a few washers. So we've got a bullshit style windage tray in there because it didn't have one. So, but it had location for it, so we got that in there. And yeah.
I traded a small block 383 and some merch to be able to get that thing together. So the small block wasn't enough. The merch had to seal the deal. So I don't know, do we go by retail value of the merch or can we go wholesale value of the merch? So like, because does it have to be street value? But so either way, I got a 383 and about $500 worth of merch invested to get that whole thing together. So ours is a swap meet build. So literally accumulation of different shit at swap meets over the years to put it all together and then get it to where we are there. So swap meet value is retail because it's a public open swap meet. Anybody could have bought the parts.
there's some okay parts, but they've all got to pass. Like, look at that balancer. That thing was, that's probably the first one out of ATI. It's so.
It actually looks like it was bouncing down the street and somebody ran into it with their car and then picked it up and said, maybe I can use this.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that stuff was found under the bench, and yeah, it had swap meet style value.
Should be good to go. Thanks, Johnny.
Right on. Right on, Tom.
Thanks, Cecil. Sir. Right now we're just plus 500 because $500 worth of merch and we're good to go. So we have a lot to finish up with this, and to be able to get to run, it has not been fired yet. Fuel lines are done. Most of the stuff with the water. We still got brakes. Trans cooler. Where are you at with the trans cooler?
Fittings, just got to get it up in the air and mount it.
Okay.
Waiting for Aiden to finish so I can get under it. A few lines and yeah.
Aiden,
Leads.
where's your update on the
Electrical side of things.
3D printing and the wiring?
It's almost done.
It's almost done.
It's almost done.
That's what he said 4 days ago. Almost done. But yet he's been here for 14, 15 hours a day, every day, and it's still almost done. So, but 6 Summer is going to be the place to be. You're going to want to get to 6 Summer because I don't even know if you can call it a cheap car challenge, budget car challenge. I mean, we're the only ones with a budget car anymore. Like, we didn't go to an engine shop and them make everything for us. So this stuff's all swap meet crap. So all just old junk that we got from Canada and then scrounged together and to get the dirt mall. And the good thing is, like, he doesn't speak English, so like it's easier for him to negotiate at the dirt mall because they don't understand what he's saying. And then at the end of the day, they just say, yeah, whatever, man, just to get him out of their face. So because he's a sweater, so like he just sits there and sweats them until they give him the deal that he's looking for. But hopefully we're going to be in good shape. The other is 2 weeks. We were supposed to start these things 2 weeks prior to the event. Like, those guys already have their stuff running and driving. I mean, we didn't start it. The cage got done, the seats went in. Bobby took care of all that stuff, but like, I mean, we were the 2 week mark on starting this because we got back from Bowling Green, and then that's when it was time to start this. So literally 2 weeks, and we're a week into that 2 weeks. Hopefully we only have a few more days and then we can get it running. We did think that it would go quicker than it's gone, but like, so much fabrication. I mean, Andy, like whatever. I mean, the stuff, it has to be hand built or machined or modified to fit because, I mean, when you get something secondhand or from the swap meet, it's not always the right one. So somehow you got to make that into the right one to be able to fit on there. But there you go. There's our update on the cheap car challenge. And I mean, I'm telling you, you guys sitting there thinking between Ty and James and Cleetus, like, we're the dark horse in this whole thing that everybody has to worry about because while they're busy getting all these high dollar components, like we're going old school, and I guess we're the old guys of the competition. We have kids that are older than all three of them. So like, so that part of it is why we got to go old school big block Chevy. But I mean, we are fuel injecting it, and we do got a bunch of nitrous to go on there, 2 separate solenoids. Like, I mean, this thing, if it can handle the power, it will do whatever we want. I think you say that about every engine. But we're hoping that big block for the win, and hey, no LS, no Coyote junk, like none of that new school stuff. Like old school muscle.
Old school muscle.
For the win. And if you're an older guy, then hey, pick old school. Don't go for the young kids with the new technology. They're LSs and Coyotes. Old school big block with drag boat headers.
Backwards.